had trouble getting in the zone? Getting frustrated that you're not as productive as you'd like to be? Hi, I'm Debra Kasowski, 3-time best-selling author, executive coach, speaker, and podcast host of the Millionaire Woman Show. Today I want to talk to you about how you can get in the zone and get a lot of things done to be more productive, more efficient, and really use your time more effectively. Because of all commodities, time is one that you can't replace. So when you're thinking about getting into the zone, and what I mean by getting into the zone is really focused, concentrated work, where you really get things done and you feel amazing that you see that you're having all this productive work, not just busyness. Because it's easy to get caught up in busyness of things that we think we can do, but have no return on our investment other than pure pleasure. But when you are wanting to be effective with your time, you need to pull in that pleasure, pull in that energy, and really focus in on the things that you need to get done, the things that are going to give you the greatest return on your investment. So let's start with a few things to help get you in the zone. One is get out of your usual workspace. What happens is you get so comforted but also distracted at the same time by staying in the same workspace all the time. Today I'm out in a different location getting tons of things done. And I find that sometimes when I'm in my home office, it's so easy to think about what's for dinner. Let's throw a load of laundry in, let's go clean this area. So it can be very distracting. So sometimes what you need to do is get out of your own space. You might not do it on a regular basis if you're working just on your own out of a home office. But some people like to go to coffee shops, some people like to go to co-working spaces. But there's a number of things that you can do to get out of your own space so that you can tap into some of that creativity that you have, maybe sitting in latent and needs to be exposed. So I want to encourage you to get out of your own space and get creative, because I find that creativity comes when we change our environment, change things up about how we approach things. So that's one recommendation. 2 is work at the time that's best for you. Are you a night owl, or do you work best in the evening, or do you work at the crack of dawn watching the sun rise in the morning? When you know your optimum time for working and being the most productive, that's where you need to dive in and really show up with your skills and abilities, where your greatest energy is. If you are exhausted at the end of a day, that's not the time to be diving in. It's a time to reset and recharge. So you really want to be working at your optimum level whenever possible. The other thing is, when we set out on course of a big goal or have a dream, it often feels so big in the beginning. You're looking at it and you're thinking, how am I going to take care of this? How am I ever going to achieve this? So what I want to recommend to you is to chunk things down into smaller pieces that are manageable. When you chunk down projects and create milestones for them, you're going to be a lot more productive. The other key thing is to make sure you're time blocking. Time blocking is a very valuable tool in blocking off time where you can be really successful with that time by really focusing in on what needs to get done when in a shorter amount of time. Because you see, time expands to the amount of time you allot it. So if I say, you know what, I'm going to give 4 hours to work on this, it will take you 4 hours. But if I told you something was going to give you an hour and you have an hour to do it, you'd be surprised how much you're going to get done in that hour versus the 4 hours. So smaller chunks of time are actually better because they create that sense of urgency. They create that sense of scarcity of time that you need to get things done. And this is where you can get really super focused. The other things is start eliminating some of those distractions. So if you get distracted by outside noise, putting in some earbuds, listening to maybe some Baroque music, some concentration type music, or just instrumentals, that can be very helpful in helping you stay focused. For some of you, you might prefer earplugs. where you zone out and you don't have any sound around you and you're just focused in on whatever thoughts are coming in your mind that you're either typing at the computer or writing things out if you were writing a book, for example. So I want you to really think about your productivity. And so we talked about, chunking things down. We talked about getting your space in the right frame of mind, especially if you're surrounded by clutter. If you're around clutter, you're going to be very distracted. You're going to think, oh, I need to clean up my desk first. I need to do all these things. And what happens is they just take you on a roller coaster ride of taking you somewhere else versus where you want to be, because you'll be caught on to the next thing and the next thing. So we want you to really get super focused, and if you can, only have what you need for whatever project you're working on your desk at one time, versus a whole bunch of things in different piles, because you're going to get distracted. Oh, I should do this. Oh, I can't forget this. And oh, don't forget that. So you don't want to be caught up in those distractions. Eliminating, turning off your phone, putting it on a table somewhere else across the room, or setting an alarm for yourself in chunks of time that you're working in. So I find this very valuable. The Pomodoro Method is a method that I highly recommend to people when they're tracking their time and getting things done. So what you can do is, put on a timer for 20 minutes, take a 5-minute break. I find for me, my most effective time is 45 minutes. So I'll set my time for 45 minutes, work for that 45 minutes intensely, take a 15-minute break. Again, working for 45 minutes, working intently for another 15. As you do this, what you're doing is you're going to get more done in smaller amounts of time because it's concentrated, it's super focused, and you're getting completely in the zone of getting things done because those distractions are away from you. And that's why people feel so relaxed when they go to a hotel, for example, is because they don't have the clutter around them. They have this empty spaces around them that they're not used to, that tie up and our attention and our distraction. So getting super hyper focused on what it is you want to do and getting really excited knowing that you're going to accomplish those goals. So I want to encourage you, get out of your comfort zones, go into a different space every so often, throw things off, shift things around, get in the time zone that works best for you. And when I talk about time zone, day, mid, evening, if you're a night owl, crank out a couple, like an hour or two at night, and really, you can get so much done when you feel the most productive. Chunking things down, making them more manageable, not feeling that overwhelm, right? So we really want you to focus in on what it is. Putting in some Baroque music or something that helps you concentrate if you just need some instrumental music, or just pure silence. Silence can be beautiful, especially if you're not used to having some around. So I want you to think about all these things that you can have in place to really get yourself in the zone, get things done, and really get the results that you start saying that you want to get. Be very intentional about making those things happen. I'm Debra Kasowski. Thank you for joining me. Please go over to my website, grab your free ebook of the 21 Habits High Achievers Kick to Achieve Success, and get on our newsletter for the Success Secrets newsletter, where I'll be sharing tips and strategies of getting you right on track and having the performance, the profitability, and the productivity you know yourself to be. Living rich from the inside out. Have a great day.